This is a Christmas segment. We figure we should end the show with a Christmas segment. This is not a joyous segment, but it is Christmas time. And so how could we let the show end without this? Jesus in the Rubble, Christmas celebrations in Bethlehem canceled. This is from the Washington Post. At Christmas time, the world comes to Bethlehem. The rooftop of the city hall is packed with camera crews from around the globe to capture a towering tree in Manger Square as the bells toll for midnight mass at the Church of the Nativity, built upon the grotto where, by tradition, Jesus was born. This year there will be no tree, no parades, no bands or music, no lights, no markets, no feasts, no carols, no Santas handing out candy to the children, and no pilgrims, no tourists. In place of traditional holiday decorations, one church here has created a simple nativity scene for Christmas 2023. Jesus enters the world amid a pile of Gazan rubble. The atmosphere in Bethlehem on the eve of Christmas this year is somber, dark, sad, and political. In his annual Christmas message, Bethlehem Mayor Hanania spoke this year of mourning and condemned Israel's prosecution of the war in Gaza as ethnic cleansing and genocide. So did the head of the Chamber of Commerce. I am sad and upset at the moral failure of the West to stop the killing of civilians in Gaza, Samir Hasboun said. Christian clergy here use similar language, blaming the failure to protect the innocent on world leaders, including President Biden. The Reverend Munther Isaac, pastor of the Evangelical Lutheran Christmas Church, stood beside the small nativity scene in his chapel. The baby Jesus sat amid flickering candles atop a pile of busted cement and dirty stone. This is what Christmas looks like in Palestine, Isaac said. This is the true message. And there it is. You can see baby Jesus in a pile of rubble.
That's powerful.
At first, what's that?
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, very powerful, of course. Yeah, I mean, another picture was on the headline image. But yeah, I mean, wow, that says it all there. Good on the Washington Post. They had 2 good stories in 1 week. That's a record for them. At first,
that's good. That's going to usher in the apocalypse now.
Yeah, on a roll there. At first, he said, the idea of placing the birth of Jesus in a war zone was shocking. It was hard for even our own people, but it left a strong impression because the imagery is very real. It confronts you with the reality then and now in a very powerful way. If Jesus were born today, he said, he would be born in Gaza amid the rubble. Who can sing joy to the world today? This is a caption of a photo here that was included in this article. An Israeli military guard tower and concrete separation barrier in Bethlehem. Wow. Look at that. The holy site, right?
Wow.
A holy site. Bethlehem is just a few miles south of Jerusalem in the occupied West Bank. Bill Maher did a whole thing about this. Yeah, Bethlehem, it's now Palestine, okay? Okay,
deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah. Bethlehem is just a few miles south of Jerusalem in the occupied West Bank. There are 12 miles of high wall and fencing. There are Israeli checkpoints to get in and out of the city where Palestinians on foot pass through scanners and answer questions by Israeli border guards. Many of those checkpoints are closed now, only open a few hours a day, because of the Gaza war and the rise in violence in the West Bank. Hanania said that he cannot believe what we are watching in Gaza. These are the worst days that Palestinians have ever seen. In the lead up to the holiday this year, the painstakingly renovated Church of the Nativity, which dates back to the 6th century, has seen almost no visitors. So, dark times in the Holy Land.
Yeah, nobody's really going to be packing their bags to go to that region right now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's absolutely heartbreaking that, you have this holiday that, whatever its history, and certainly we can litigate that for a long time, but it's supposed to be a holiday that represents our highest ideal of human collective kindness and oneness as a human race. And to have at a moment like this, right in that region, a genocide going on against the people who live in the supposed birthplace of Jesus, or the mythological birthplace of Jesus, it's just absolutely tragic. I mean, and they're right. Like, how do you celebrate Christmas? And maybe I'm wrong. It seems to me that everything has been pretty sedate. Like, there's not that Christmas mood around.
Yeah, well, I mean, this just puts all of those contradictions obviously right in your face, just lays them right to bear because, yeah, as you said, the mood hasn't been the same. And people will say, yeah, I mean, how could this be a time of joy, a time of celebration,
Right.
a time of refuge, a time of peace, right? There's a certain still in the air, a certain calm in the air around Christmas time. I always thought Christmas, one of the charms of Christmas is it has this very kind of retro analog feel in a world that's just become
Right,
so
yeah.
tech obsessed.
Well, that's
right?
what all those Christmas movies are. I wrote that article about that. Like
Yeah.
Christmas movies are permanently frozen in this imaginary America from 1930s era, where all the kids are good and decent and they live in small towns and everyone's a shopkeeper.
Yeah, and life is just simple, right?
Right.
Life is
They're
simple.
sledding,
It's not fast.
snow.
You're right. It's not so fast paced. It's not,
Right.
it's not so tech obsessed, right? It's analog. It's
Right.
stuff you could touch and feel and smell and taste, and the Charlie Brown characters walking around in that just still calm town with the jazz
Right.
music underneath it, right? There's a peace to it. There's a quiet to it.
Right.
And the fact that this is happening now and that display, I mean, that image there, here, I'll put that up once again. I mean, yeah, that just that just says it all. Very, very powerful choice to do that.
And this is happening to people.
Yeah. What a statement that is. Israel
Literally accomplished what the Grinch couldn't. Israel literally stole Christmas.
Yep. They stole Christmas. Indeed.